What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo Sports Center. Today I am joined with Jaden, and we are going to be doing position comparisons between the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start off with the toughest one of the video, quarterback. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Jaden, I'll let you take a stab at this one first.
Mean, this might be a little controversial, but I'm gonna say Josh. I
Okay.
mean, I know Chiefs fans might not be too happy about it, but I just think if you put Josh Allen on the Chiefs with that coaching staff, with an elite weapon like Travis Kelce, good play calling, I think he'd have the same success, if not more. I think
Okay.
I think if you put Mahomes on the Bills and Allen on the Chiefs, I think it would be pretty similar, but I just think Allen would be the same, if not better, on the Chiefs.
I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here. Josh Allen, regular season, I would pick him. Playoffs, Allen hasn't got it done. Mahomes has multiple Super Bowls. He's got it done multiple times. We're talking about playoffs here. I got to go with Mahomes until Josh Allen knocks him off, which could potentially be a day after this video comes out. So we disagree on the first one here. Now let's shift over to the running back position. The Bills have the trio of Ray Davis, James Cook, and Ty Johnson. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I got to give this one to the Bills. I think they're just a little bit more dynamic. Ty Johnson on third down, Ray Davis up the middle. You got James Cook bouncing them off to the outside. If you would just cut that hair, I think you get a few more yards too. People are always grabbing on that hair. Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, they're solid. Pacheco hasn't really been the same after injury. What would you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna start off this video sounding like too much of a Bills homer here, but I'm gonna have to agree with you. Hunt and Pacheco for the Chiefs. It's a great duo, but the Bills, they got three legit running backs that can all contribute something a little different, and I think they all just build off of each other very well within the Bills offense.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was watching some Sabres highlights there while you were talking, but moving on to the wide receiver position, this one's a tough one, right? I mean, you have the Chiefs who brought in some help, right? DeAndre Hopkins, an absolute massive target there. You have guys like Xavier Worthy, who they drafted, who's got, the speed, dynamic player. Reminds me a lot of when the Bills had Isaiah McKenzie, only even up a couple notches, right? The way they utilize him. And then, of course, they have some lesser options as well there. The Bills, on the other hand, they bring in Amari Cooper, who is their comparable to DeAndre Hopkins, yet hasn't really been a factor in this offense at all. And again, he's been here for at least half the season and now the entirety of the playoffs. Not much there. And then Khalil Shakir's their true number one. He's been very great this season. Again, not much to complain about with him. Mac Hollins has been a great guy blocking. He's had some nice catches down the stretch. Again, that's what people always bring up though with the MVP candidate with Josh Allen. They're like, oh, he doesn't have help. His receivers kind of stink. The same can kind of be said about Patrick Mahomes. They both don't have a true number one. Obviously, Mahomes getting that DeAndre Hopkins help later on in the season has helped. But where do you stand on the wide receiver position? It is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is maybe one of the most interesting debates. I think uh, both teams kind of, I mean, maybe less so the Chiefs, but I think both teams kind of have, just kind of a hodgepodge of, scrap pieces here and there. I think the Bills kind of, the Bills kind of went for what the Chiefs' strategy has been, where you don't really invest a whole lot in the wide receiver room. I mean, the Bills, they got Shakir, they got Cooper, like you said, but I think both rooms have a good case to be better than the other, kind of depends on the week, but I think I would give this one to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think I got to agree. D Hop is just, even at his age right now, he's still a top player. And, just everyone combined on their roster, I think one ups the Bills a little bit. That could change if Amari Cooper wanted to show up, big time in one of these games, but he just hasn't. So, again, I will give it to the Chiefs. Now, switching over next door to the wide receiver position, we have the tight ends. The Chiefs, they have obviously Travis Kelce, Gray, Watson. They have pretty much everyone who just gets wide open. It doesn't make sense, right? Teams go into games saying we're covering their tight ends. They don't have a lot of help at wide receiver, and their tight ends still get wide open. We've seen it time and time again, especially in the playoffs. The Bills, Kincaid, Knox, again, a nice mix, but neither one of them has really stepped up big time. So I think I'm going to have to give this one to the Chiefs. Pretty obvious because they have Kelsey, but we'll see what you have to say about that one.
Yeah, I mean, not too much really to debate here. I mean, Travis Kelsey is one of the greatest tight ends of all time. The Bills, they have a decent combo between Kincaid and Knox, but I mean, it's nothing compared to what Kelsey brings to the table.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one. Let's move to the offensive line now. The Bills have a very good offensive line this year, but a lot of people are saying the Chiefs' offensive line is top three in the league. Again, they have protected Mahomes pretty well. Mahomes hasn't given a turnover up since that last game against the Bills. I mean, that was forever ago. So you take that into account. I think both these offensive lines have good says to be better than the other one. Where do you stand on this one?
Yeah, I mean, the Bills' offensive line, obviously, it's been really good. It helps when you have, a quarterback who can make you look even better, but
Yeah,
the Bills' O-line by itself is very good. The Chiefs O-line, Jawan Taylor, the false start merchant.
yeah.
You got Joe Tooney out there, you got Creed Humphrey, they got some good players on their line for sure. But they also, I think they have a couple weak spots on their line. So, I mean, I'd probably have to go with the Bills here.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. I just think the Bills' overall offensive line is better, through and through. I mean, Osiris Torrance has had a monster year again, still hasn't allowed a sack in his NFL career. And even in college, right? I mean, he hasn't allowed a sack or maybe one in college. It's just some crazy stat. Deion Dawkins, again, an all pro season for him. Spencer Brown has really turned it up this year after a little bit of a disappointing year last year. It'll be interesting to see how he goes up with Chris Jones this week. And again, that the entirety of that line, McGovern, you could just keep going. Alec Anderson, the add-on. I just think they've been great this year. Now let's switch over to the defense. We're going to do defense overall. We can split it in half, I guess. We'll start with D line. The Bills, of course, just have that rotation of guys who one guy steps up this week, one guy steps up next week. They can't really seem to get on the same page. Right now, it's Rousseau and honestly Von Miller. They've been the two big ones right now. Ed Oliver's starting to step up a little bit. Of course, you got other guys on that D line. Jefferson, Jordan Phillips, even in the depth areas of that D line. You look over with Kansas City, Karlaftis, Chris Jones. Those are the two big dogs for them. And I think Chris Jones is the most talented guy out of the two teams. But overall, I'll give it to the Bills. I think if the Bills were on every single rep, every single game, I think they have more talent overall. I just think the Chiefs are a little bit more consistent because Chris Jones does not have bad games.
I have to disagree with you on this one. I
Mm.
think I think the Chiefs, just between Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, probably have more talent than the Bills. Just those two plus whatever else that they have, Derek Nottie, whoever else they got. I mean, the Bills D line, it's so streaky. You never know what you're going to get out of them. At least with Chris Jones and Karlaftis, you know that they are going to apply pressure. They're gonna, force the offensive line to work week in, week out. So I'm gonna have to give this one to Kansas City.
All right, now let's finish off the defense with linebackers and secondary. This is going to be a tough decision because this is mixing a lot into a little. The Bills linebackers, of course, Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano. When those two are fully healthy, there's not a whole lot beating that. But you look at the Bills secondary, and this is where it gets tricky. Safeties, Taylor Rapp, DeMar Hamlin. A lot of teams have better options. Again, Taylor Rapp might not be available for this game. DeMar Hamlin will be available. When they're playing good, they're definitely a respectable duo back there. I don't think they're near the bottom of the league, but they're definitely nothing to watch out for. Cornerbacks, Christian Benford having a monster year. Taron Johnson seems to get hurt every single game, so you never really know what you're getting with him. And then, of course, you have the depth in that area as well. You switch over to the Chiefs. Of course, Bolton's having a big year for them. They have a decent secondary, but overall, I'd have to give it to the Bills near the linebacker spot. But deeper down the field, I mean, you're just not going to beat Justin Reed in the safety department. So I'm going to give this one a tie.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree with you there. If you split it into just linebackers and just cornerbacks and safeties, I mean, like the Bills have the better linebacker core with, Bernard, Milano, Dorian Williams, but you get into the secondary, I mean, the Chiefs have Justin Reed, Trent McDuffie, so I mean, those two guys alone, I mean, the Bills just they don't have that kind of star power.
Yeah, McDuffie's having a monster year as well. So, last thing we are going to talk about here is special teams. We'll combine it all into one: punter, kicker, kick returner. Of course, the Chiefs have punter Matt Ariza, who was a former Bill, never really got to play because of something we won't talk about on this video. Sam Martin has been decent for the Bills. You go to kickers: Tyler Bass, Harrison Bucker. I think we both can agree Bucker's been more consistent. Tyler Bass all of a sudden looks like a very good kicker, but again, I'm not expecting much because he has had an up and down roller coaster season. And then for punt returning, I mean, again, both teams have some younger talent there, but overall, I think I'd have to give this one to the Chiefs. Riza can kick the ball 100 yards down the field, and Harrison Bucker is so consistent at kicking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree on that. I mean, Harrison Butker, when he's on, he's one of the best kickers in the league. And I mean, Matt Ariza, I mean, he's pretty good. Sam Martin's nothing to go writing home about. So I mean, I think this is pretty straightforward. I think the Chiefs take this one.
Yeah, and I we'll wrap it up with coaching. I guess we can add that on as well. Sean McDermott, Andy Reid. Of course, we're both going to say Andy Reid's the better coach because he's had more success, and Sean McDermott hasn't been able to knock him off in multiple opportunities in the playoffs. So that's where we're going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching this one. Leave a like on this video, subscribe, and leave a comment if you agree with us, disagree with us. Where do you think we went wrong in this video, and who do you agree with more? Thank you guys for watching this one, and peace out.